Jacob reunites with his favorite son, Joseph. Hi, I'm Ronald, and welcome to Bible Talk, where I explore sections of the Bible, and today we continue in the book of Genesis, beginning with chapter 43. Now, when Jacob's sons returned from Egypt, they told their father that they had to send Benjamin back with them, the youngest, to get Simeon back. Now, Jacob said no. However, they needed grain after some time, so Jacob finally agreed to let Benjamin go with them back to Egypt for more food. This came only after Judah pledged to bear the blame for anything that might happen to him. Now, Judah put his own life on the line as a guarantee for Benjamin, and this is the first good thing that we see Judah do. Previously, he was the one who proposed the sale of Joseph, and he was the one who wronged his daughter-in-law Tamar and had sex with her as a prostitute. Now, verses 1 and 2. Now, the famine was severe in the land, but we have reason to believe that the brothers went to Egypt for the grain in the first year of the famine. Joseph knew that it would last for 7 years, but his brothers did not know. They probably thought that it was one bad year, but the second year of famine came quickly, it says. When they had eaten up the grain that they had brought from Egypt, perhaps Jacob initially thought that they had had enough to survive the famine. Jacob thought that he would never need to go back with Benjamin or go back to get Simeon. But the famine wore on, and eventually they ran out of food. Now, necessity drove Jacob to do something that he would usually never do. We might imagine Jacob praying hard for the famine to end and asking God to send relief. We might imagine Jacob becoming angry and bitter against God for not answering those prayers. But God had a plan, something much better for Jacob than he could ever imagine. Verses 6 and 7, Israel said, "Why did you deal so wrongfully with me as to tell the man whether you still had another brother?" But they said, "The man asked us pointedly about ourselves and our family, saying, 'Is your father still alive? Have you another brother?' And we told him according to these words. Could we possibly have known that he would say, 'Bring your brother down'?" Jacob was desperate. They must have had this discussion a million times before, but he brought it up again. The brothers gave a logical explanation to their father. The question of the Egyptian official was so unexpected that they could not have anticipated it. Now, Satan may have directed his attack against Joseph because he believed that he was the one who would ultimately bring the Messiah. But to this point, God had not yet revealed which of the 12 sons Jacob, the Messiah, would come from. Satan not only hated the children of Jacob for what they were, but also for what God would make of them. The devil directs the same kind of hatred against believers today as Satan considers the destiny God has for his people. Now, when the brothers returned to Egypt with the younger brother, Benjamin, when Joseph sees that his full brother was with them, he orders them to his house for a feast, but they thought they were in trouble. This was unusual interest and kindness. The brothers must have wondered why this powerful Egyptian official was interested in them and wanted to share a meal with them. Now, Joseph is a picture of Jesus. He wants to eat with us, which means that Jesus wants a close relationship with us. "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in to him and dine with him and he with me." Revelation 3:20. Now, Joseph offers Benjamin a special blessing and then arranges from the oldest to the youngest to be seated in line. Verse 33 says, "The men looked at one another in amazement when this happened." Now, the brothers expected to be seized as slaves and have everything taken from them, according to Genesis 43:18. Yet Joseph treated them with kindness. This love and goodness from Joseph would win them over and bring them to full repentance. Now, the brothers received Joseph's blessings of love and kindness without knowing who he was. In the same way, God showers love and blessings upon man, even when man doesn't know from where the blessings come. They brought him the present and bowed down. Once again, they fulfilled the dream that Joseph had many years before. They honored this Egyptian official not only out of respect and not only out of gratitude, but also out of need. Sensing we need Jesus will prompt us to give to him and worship toward him. So Joseph did not eat with his brothers because at the time, Egypt was one of the most racially separated societies on earth. They believed that the Egyptians came from gods and all other people came from lesser origins. There was little social mixing with foreigners in Egypt at that time. Now, Benjamin's serving was 5 times as much as any of theirs. This was another test, seeing how they reacted when the younger brother was favored, because they resented it so much when Joseph was favored by his father. Now, Joseph wanted to see if there was any change in the heart of his brothers, or if they were the same men who threw him into a pit and were deaf to his cries for help. Now, this might have been his whole motivation in asking for Benjamin in the first place. He wondered if they would take care of Benjamin on such a journey as they failed to do with him. We should expect if we fail a test somewhere, God will make arrangements for us to take the test again another time. But this is a serious reason to take the test well the first time. So after the meal, they prepare to head back to Canaan, and that's when Joseph doubles down on the money in the bag trick again, with an added bonus of putting his silver cup in Benjamin's bag. Now I'm going to leave it here for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. God bless, and keep reading his word.